Hey guys, I'm Amy and you've landed on Belle Loves Bargains. That's my cow Effingham, and sometimes he co-hosts with me. He's got a lot to say. This channel is Dollar Tree and only Dollar Tree. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25, people. So stick around, consider subscribing, and don't forget to give me that big thumbs up. And if you want to know more about the 4 uploads I do every week, just check out the description box for more information. Enjoy! Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. Should have been somebody else. Ready, baby? Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. Okay, guys. Welcome to Belle's Bargains. My name is Amy. So that's from, do you know what that's from? It's from Greatest American Hero. I love that song. It was sung by, I don't know, Joey Scarberry, I guess. Anyway, it's just a classic 1980s TV theme song. Do you guys remember Greatest American Hero? Oh, I loved that show. Marcus, you remember it, huh?
Yeah, I had that on a 45.
Yeah, you had that on a 45. You had that song
theme song on a 45.
on a 45 record.
One was instrumental, one was...
I had 33s. Okay, I didn't. I actually had 45s. Okay, so do you remember you'd go to the record station to buy the 45 of the single that you wanted?
Yeah.
How much were they when you bought them? How much were they when you bought 45s?
Oh, man.
I want to say they were like $1.
They had
Or was it like 2 for $1?
3 different color tabs. And
Yeah. At, what was it? Tower Records.
I went to the Blue Meanie.
Okay, I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
it was just the one.
You're a blue meanie. Okay. All right, guys. Let's get going. Today is a special video because it's a challenge. Hey, by the way, if you're new to this channel, you should know. Well, Effingham, you always try and steal my line. You're right. It's Dollar Tree and only Dollar Tree on this channel. And why? Because everything at the Dollar Tree is $1.25. That's right, Effingham, it is. That's my cow, Effingham, in case you missed it in the intro. Okay. No, yes, I'm sorry. I should have put you on camera today. Next time, Effingham. All right. So we have so much fun on this channel. Come and join me in my kitchen while we craft, we do hauls, and we sing about TV theme songs. Because right now, I'm on a TV theme kick. And I start every video with the song, which is fun, and I do take requests. So nobody requested that one, but that happens to be one of our favorites. So I love that song, actually. It's one of those songs you'll just randomly sing. Look at what's happened to me.
It's an uplifting song.
It's an uplifting song, you're right. All right, I'm on coffee this morning. This is my San Francisco mug from, look at there's lipstick, from Starbucks. Because for a while, I was going to collect them everywhere I went. I stopped. No, I stopped. The only thing I do like about them is they're really good stacking mugs. All right, let's go. So today, I am doing the challenge, which is, hold on, I got to get the picture up. It's Crown Her Up. I did this last month, and I crowned up Megan from the Crafty Quinn. So this month, I'm doing another special friend of mine on the YouTube family here, and her name is Christy Bird, and she has the channel Crafty, I always want to say it backwards, Crafty Country. And Christy's been a supporter of mine for a long time now, and I've supported her channel. We're actually getting ready to do a challenge to each other. We're going to send each other a box full of 10 things and do a craft challenge. But she's done a couple of crafts that I was just like, oh, that's so cute. And so I was like, why not? I should totally steal them and do them myself on Crown Her Up. So this is the challenge for today. It's Here's Your Crown. I've already put it into the video once. But this is brought to us by Connie's Creative Creation and 6 Kids and a Glue Gun. And I did it last month, and I really enjoyed it. And so I was like, ooh, I'm going to do it again. So one of the reasons that I picked Christy, because Christy was so sweet. When I made my 1,000 subscribers, she sent me this beautiful sign that says Bella's Bargains, 1,000 Besties, and then the date, October and going, it was October of 2021 and going strong. So that's when I hit my 1,000. It was so exciting. And now I'm trying to get to my 2,500 mark to do a great big gnome giveaway. So if you like gnomes, come back often and maybe you can get entered into that drawing. But most of all, come back because we have so much fun on this channel and because hopefully you like what we do here. All right, so let's dive into what two crafts I did that Christy did and I stole. Didn't steal them. I asked her. I was like, hey, I'm going to do this challenge. Can I please replicate 2 of your crafts? Okay, so here is her barn. And I loved this. So these were those barns that came out at Valentine's Day. And they're so cute. They're a great shape for us to do. I insert the photo of hers in here as well, so you can see it again. But this is what she did. I loved it. She took it and she did those planks on it. And she put a home sticker on it, made the wreath, and painted the roof gray. And I just loved the color combination and the whole idea. So I stole it and I did my own. So here's how I did it. Now, I don't have a Cricut and I didn't have a sticker that said home, but I did have the galvanized letters from Dollar Tree and a couple of things that I did different. I did my plank smaller, but mostly because of the size of my letters, and I wanted the letters to cover 2 planks. So I went with smaller planks on it, and I did my roof. I also painted the back just so that it would look good no matter where it went. I do that a lot. And then I just have to show you my miniature wreath because Christy she did it great. She took 2 things and wound them together and made a wreath. Actually, let me show you. So she did, and I loved her distressing on hers too, which I think is better than mine. And she took 2 pieces of greenery and did a wreath, which I've done that too. So, but on this one, I decided I was actually going to go for making a miniature wreath, like looks like a miniature of a wreath. So you'll see in the video how I did it, but basically I take I cut off 2 wire pieces from a pick and wrap them into a circle and then just cut things off of picks. So these little, like this little thing right there, I'm not sure you guys can see it, but it's not going to focus. They're just the little bits from a lavender sprig. Just taking little pieces off of things and making this little miniature. So I love the miniature. Also, the other thing, just note, I outlined my galvanized letters with the black furniture, not furniture, I already put it away. The glass marker, the black glass marker, because it really pops those letters on there, which, by the way, if you go back and watch my Sunday video, I am giving a set away of the glass markers because I really like those. And so my bestie M&M sent me some of those, and so I'm giving them away to you guys. Okay, so this was the first one that I did. I absolutely love it. Christy, I hope I did you proud. Thank you so much for the inspiration, and I love this piece. I'll be keeping this piece. All right. So then next, she did a really cool, and I'd never seen anybody do this. And I was like, never thought of it. Sorry, guys, I have a little cough. But I was like, well, I'm going to copy because I like it. Something's going on with my iPad. It doesn't want to go where I want it to go. She took a canvas. Sorry, I do screenshots because obviously I don't have her product right here. So she took a canvas and reversed it. So she used a calendar page and put it on the canvas. And I'm like, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody do that. I think I've done a calendar page on a canvas, but the whole reverse thing. Anyway, it was a super cool idea because it popped and frames that calendar page, which are always such amazing prints, right? So I got out my calendars. I'd actually already used the one that she did. I'd done a craft with that particular print. And so I just started going through my calendars, and I've been wanting to do a print out of the farmhouse one, the farm calendar. And so I was like, well, now's a good time. Might as well do it now, right? All right, so I had a canvas. This was actually the canvas, right? And so I took it all apart. You'll see in the video. And I just used a glue stick to put my cows on there. Effingham, I know you already love it. He already told me he loved it. He did. And I'm going to put it on your wall somewhere. I'm going to figure out how to put it on your wall. because it needs to go on your cow wall. All right, so, but I want to talk about a few things. I lost some footage and I feel really bad about that, but it's okay because I can explain it. But let's go over really quickly. You'll see in the video that I just use a glue stick to glue this down because Mod Podge will wrinkle up these calendar pages unless I want them to look really old, which often I do. And this one I wasn't necessarily going for that. So I reversed it. I put the image on the canvas. Then you'll see how I glued it on, and then I trimmed it so that this side still has this canvas, right? And then I was like, okay, I need to put something more on it. On hers, she had florals. I didn't think that the florals looked right, or a bow even looked right on the cows, but I do love my rope bow, and I'm gonna show you guys really quickly how to do that. I talk about it in the video, but that's okay, we're gonna show you. So a rope bow is really cool because it looks almost like, it looks so Western. It looks like a pile of rope, right? Super easy. All you do is you're gonna leave your tail here. You go around and around and around 4, 5, maybe 6, say 7 times. You cut it off here. I'm gonna go ahead and do it for you. Cut it off, all right? So now all I've done is, by the way, one tail is this way and one tail is this way, right? That's because then you're gonna have your loose end is gonna be on the same side. I hope I just made this big enough. I might not have. I didn't. Let's try this again. Ready? We're gonna do it anyway. So you're gonna go around. You have to spread your fingers. I don't know what I was thinking. Okay, so now I've got it long enough. And all I'm gonna do is knot this. So I'm just knotting through, looping it, and just a regular knot, right? Make sure all the pieces, all the little bits went through. I think they did. And then I just knot it. And then I have one piece didn't go through, that's all right. And then you just have this cool little bundle of like rope. It's a rope bow almost. I'm trying to do it on camera, which is not working out well, but you can see what I'm saying. Super cute, like especially for something that's like a Western thing. And I did use that nautical rope, but I just like the coloring on it. Thought it was better than just the jute twine, because the jute twine would have been basically the same color as the wood. And I wanted that just to pop a little bit. And this is just twisting 3 strands together. Okay, now here's where we lost video. When I went to put the wire ribbon on. And what happened was, I started thinking, like, I thought it was done. I talked about this. Then I was like, I don't know. I think of barbed wire. I think of fencing when I think of cows. So I went and got my metal ribbon. And all I did, you guys, was I put it on there and I took my, I don't know what you call this tool. So I put it on and then I pushed and then I pushed. And I just kept pushing and pushing all the way around it to form it on there. And then popped hot glue in just a couple of spaces to keep it on there, down and flat. And it came out so good. And then just took a little piece to accent this side of it as well. And look at that. I love this. I think it came out super cool. And I just love that tiny little bit of bam in around the edge. I did think of one other thing, but I didn't have the right color thumbtacks. And that was to put a thumbtack in each corner. All I had was gold and I didn't want the gold. So, but that's another idea, just to throw a little thumbtack in here. Okay. So do you guys love this piece? Because I do. Christy, I hope I did you proud. I did a little twist on it, but I loved the idea of the reverse canvas and using one of the calendar prints. So thank you for that inspiration as well. All right, guys, that's it. So don't forget to check out down below. I'm going to have Connie and 6 Kids and the Glue Guns. Their channels will be listed down below, as well as the playlist. Please go check out the playlist. Go check out everybody and let them know that Amy from Bella's Bargain sent you. I love doing these challenges. Was it last week or so? I did the fruit tier tray. It was a long playlist. I'm going to be honest, I still have a couple to go back and look at because it's just been so busy. Thank you again for all the birthday wishes, by the way. I love you, besties, so much. Thank you so much. I will see you back here tomorrow for Totally Easy Tuesday. Look at what's happened to me. I can't believe it myself. And I'm off to work. All right, guys. Everybody, have a great day, great week, a great life. And as always, from your singing crafty crafter, happy hunting at your local Dollar Tree. Enjoy the rest of the video on how I made these. Sorry for the lost footage, but I hope I explained that well enough and how I got that on there. And I hope you guys love these 2 crafts. Thanks again, Christy, for your inspiration. And by the way, Christy, here is your crown. Bye, guys. Enjoy the rest. So here's one of those little barns, and I have some paints and a brush and some galvanized letters and a ruler so that I can do my lines. I was wondering if maybe I wanted to do them smaller. I don't know. So I really don't want them any taller than the thing. So I'll have to do some measuring, I think, to do it. Anyway, or find a smaller ruler. My trusty dusty wax paper crafters tear off palette things for when I paint. All right, but first, I really want to get this paper off, so I'm gonna pop this in the microwave for about a minute. First things first, I've got to get this sign off of it. So they have like a, almost like a plastic film over them, which I just try and get off. But the best way to do this is just sort of get the first layer off if you can, and then soak it in water, and it comes off super easy. See that? I got it started and then bam. Now it's gonna come off super easy. I did try microwaving it for 30 seconds, or 45 seconds, which got the roof off super easily. It loosened up that glue. All right, so now that I've got it clear, I'm just taking my white acrylic paints from Dollar Tree. I put 2 on there because one of them was kind of gummy. So we're just trying to water it up a little bit. And notice I'm just being like sort of brushing my strokes across and not being super careful. Excuse me. I know it's going to take probably more than 1 layer of paint or not. I'm not sure because it depends on how I want to sort of age it. So now I just took some black. I'm making some gray, and I sort of play with this a lot because I want it to look aged, much like Christy did on hers. So I'm just dabbing a lot of paint and mixing the colors with the brush and not being super careful about it. But then I noticed I painted the wrong side of the roof. I was like, oh no, that's not gonna work. Then I go to paint just the sides of the thing where the roof was gonna hit it. Anyway, okay, doesn't matter. Now I'm back to painting the front of this, and I'm just taking my sort of grays that I've already mixed as I was doing the roof, and just brushing it across there. And I'm going back to the roof, and I'm trying to add some dimension by some shadowing here. And the top of the chimney, I felt like should be a little bit darker, so I do add a little bit more black paint, and really see, look at that, see how quick that happens. It just looks more realistic. And I'm doing it to the roof line as well. It's going to go back on the front of it. It's so fun. Anyway, and then on the back, I decided that I should just do sort of mirror the roof. Not that I'm doing anything on the back, it's just sort of a way to complete the project. And I like that. Then I take my little glass marker, which I'm giving away a set of these if you watch my Sunday video. And I'm just outlining the galvanized letters because I want them to pop, and so the best way to do that is to give them a little outline. Super easy to do, and it does really, really work. It just helps define those letters when you put them on there. So now this is a nail file I'm using as my ruler for drawing my plank lines, right? And 2 things, it sort of grooves into the paint, but also the lead is a perfect way to define your lines. And then I go halfway, so I don't measure precisely. I'm just doing it visually because I wanted smaller planks. So then after I get that done, just a little more defining with the lead pencil. And I love how these planks came out. I think it's really good. And then again, that bottom part of that roof, I'm just darkening that up a little bit and adding some dark around the edges just to give it a little more. And this is just when I put the roof on, I wanted to make sure that I covered up. There wasn't white behind it. Then I'm going to glue my roof on. Super easy, except the first time it doesn't quite get where I want it to be. So I take it off, and then I end up putting the hot glue on the house itself, which is the smarter way to do it, FYI. So now I'm just making sure I have enough age on there that I want, and then I'm going to start placing my letters. And by the way, the size of my planks, I really kind of decided based on the size of my letters. I wanted there to be 2 planks per letter, like, yeah, like the letters went on 2 planks, I guess, if that makes sense. And then I've got my tacky glue, so just after I figured out where they go, I lay them down. But that O won't come up. It's stuck on some wet paint, so I just left it. I'm like, it's not going to come off. It's drying through the paint. So now I have my home. Now it's time to go on to the wreath. So I just take, I have a bin thing full of like leftover floral bits, and so I just pulled that out to make my wreath. So I cut off 2 stems and made my circle, and then just started building my wreath. But this is really tedious. I went with the really tedious way because I started cutting leaves off and just building this wreath so that it would be just like a miniature wreath. I do love how this comes out. I think I like miniatures. I need to do miniatures one day. And so, like, again, I was just cutting these itty bitty bits apart and gluing them on there just to sort of build it. And I just went for a simple green. This piece was the best. It's got like these little tiny, what's the weed that you blow on? They kind of look like that, and they're super little because it's all part of the bigger bloom. But I just cut it apart, and that really filled it in really nicely. And then I took a piece of the lavender stem and just cut off the little round bulbs that make up the whole stem and just started popping those in there for color, and it came out perfect. I think this absolutely came out perfect. And then the final thing was to glue it on there. Now I did consider putting a hook on there and then just hooking on the wreath, and then I could change it seasonally, but in the end I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Hope you like it. I love this piece. So here's my canvas, which I'm going to deconstruct. And then I think I'm going to do a farm picture on mine when I reverse canvas it. Anyway, and I've been wanting to do one of these anyway for Effingham's wall. So there you go. You have to deconstruct this canvas, and they're kind of hard, but I didn't want to like rip for fear of ripping too much of the canvas off, because I knew I wanted it to fit exactly on the back. So I did the tedious thing of prying out the staples. That's fine. And then just took my canvas and was just double checking, like the size for laying down my picture that I decided on. So I went into the calendar, and these are like watercolor paintings, so they're not super vibrant, and that concerned me at first, but I went ahead with it and thought I'm going to try this anyway. And so just looked through them to see like which one I thought would fit best in the canvas. So I did try, at one point I tried the barn, but you couldn't see enough of it. I felt like it was going to be hard to see what that was, because I thought I'd already done a barn, so maybe do a barn. And then just going through the photos to see which one, or the paintings, the prints, to see which one was going to fit best. I considered that one. I like the chickens, and in hindsight I thought, well, if I'd done the chickens, I could have put chicken wire on. It would have been cute, but I didn't do that, so that's fine, maybe next time. So I did decide on those cows. Obviously I felt like they were just the best, like looking, and you got enough of the cow to really make a statement on the print. So I ripped that one out, and then let's just go for this. All right, what I didn't do here, I didn't Mod Podge. I used my trusty huge school glue stick that I got at when it was back to school time at Dollar Tree, and this worked perfect. I did have to lift it up a couple of times and put more glue in certain areas, but it did work fine. And what I did was I stuck that in the corner because I knew that I wanted as much of that little cow to show as I could, and of course I knew where my frame was based on the creases in the canvas. So then just cut the extra off and continued to work that down. And see, there's a couple of wrinkles, which is what I was trying to avoid, so I lifted up and put more glue down. But obviously for some reason I didn't film that, I don't know. And then I started to put the canvas down, and when I did this I was trying to like do one side at a time because I figured I could pull it taut that way. And I had to lift up a little bit there. There you go. There's right. I'm adding some more glue just to get it on there pretty well. So, and then just smoothing it out with my hands. And I wasn't too concerned if there was like a little bit of wrinkle in it because it gives it some character. So anyway, then I go to glue down the second side. So this was all I was trying to do, just to understand, was to make it taut. And if I glued one side at a time, I felt like I could pull on that canvas a little bit because I wasn't stapling. If I had been stapling, it would have been different. But I didn't staple on purpose because I wanted to make this a two-sided canvas is what I decided. So, and see that? I'm just pulling on it to try and get it to be a little tighter on that canvas. I end up undoing this one because I was like, it just didn't quite get tight enough. So pulling, and then just gonna sneak some of that glue again down there on that little corner. There we go. And then adding. So this was a little bit tedious just because I was trying to get that so tight on the canvas. And I mean, it worked. It was fine. I'm happy with it in the end. And then just glued that last one down, pulling on it. There you go. Now, so I decided, because I wanted to try and make this two-sided, that I was going to be as careful as I could about removing the excess. So I took my X-Acto knife and just started trimming off as close as I could so I would have basically an exact fit of this canvas on the frame. It did work fairly well. There was a couple spots where some glue had seeped out from when I glued it down, and then those become a little tricky to get, like right there. But it didn't matter because of what I ended up doing for a trim on this piece. Alright, so I just continue that process, and once I have that all done, I was looking at it going, okay, now do I put ribbon on it because she had florals and ribbon on hers, or do I do something different because I just felt like maybe ribbon on the cow picture wasn't going to quite cut it. So instead, I did go get some ribbon and look at it. I think I showed you here that on film. And I'm just trying to clean it up here and then realized I really didn't need to do that. So I did get some ribbon. You don't see it because I decided not to use it. But I take, this is that nautical twine, but I love the colors of it. And I opted to use that instead of just a plain jute twine. So I knotted on the end, and then I started in one spot. I ended up going down to that corner where there had been a couple of wrinkles. I was like, that's fine, I can cover those up a little bit. And I'm just twisting it to get an effect. And I liked it because it sort of bordered that inside the wood frame. So that's what I do. And I just start by gluing a corner, the knot down, just in that sort of open space on the bottom there. It was a good spot. And then glue that down and then twist it as I glued it down. So then I twist some more for that whole side, run a bead of glue down. And by the way, in the corners you see it just sort of rounds around the corner, and that's fine. It's almost more of a Western look, so I let that happen naturally, because to get it into that rigid square corner, a little bit more difficult. But by twisting it here, it gave it this really cool look. Not braided, just a twisted rope look. I don't know how to explain it other than that. Okay, so I finished that going all the way around, and then I decide it's done, right? I think this is done. And I even put a hanger on it. You'll see here in a minute. But often when you're creating, things change and you're like, I feel like it's missing something. I wanted something more. Christy had put florals on hers on the outside of the frame, and so I was like, I'm missing something on the outside of the frame. I should really figure something out to go there. And it just felt incomplete, even after I put the hanger on, which I show you here. Because actually, the hanger's cute. I like the hanger a lot, but in the end, I didn't keep it. And at this point, I'm thinking it's two-sided, right? That was my intention. And then I go, well, maybe I'll just make it primarily this side. So I take that rope and I knot it. I just basically do the same thing, a knot and twist for the tie on it. So if you wanted to do that, this is how I did that. And I just glued it down. Notice I'm on top of the frame, not the back, because this has two sides to it, right? So I didn't want to glue right on top of the canvas in the back, because I was still thinking, I guess it could still be two-sided, as like maybe a lean-to piece, not necessarily hanging. All right, so I do all that. I twist it, glue it down, blah, 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 blah. I think it looks really cute. And then decide that it needs something more. So I was really thinking about farm and cows, and what's something that you always see with cows is like fencing, like barbed wire fencing and stuff, so they can't get out. So, oh, but first I do my little bow. That's right. You guys, this is super simple, by the way. Let me explain this. You just loop, 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 and then you tie it in a knot, and it's a rope bow. So, do you see that? I'm just looping it. And the one uncut edge is I put to one side and the one to the other side. Look at that. Look at that. See, it's just loops. Now I'm going to knot it. This is a really cool way to do a rope bow, because it just this looks so Western, I thought. You know, it's like a bundle of rope. And I was trying to decide where to put it. Okay, so I put that down on the bottom, which is fine. Now I'm like, I think it needs something more. And barbed wire, fencing, like that kind of stuff, metal. So I was like, I know what I have that's metal. I have all that metal ribbon, and somehow I missed taping it, and I'm super sorry about that. No, I didn't. There it is. No, that's not it. This is what I did on the back. So, but I've already explained to you guys how I put that on, and I don't know how it didn't record. It was a tedious process, but it ended up looking so good on this piece. And all it was just form-fitting it around the edges, like I explained to you earlier. And then this little piece, I just popped some hot glue on there, right? Then I'm trying to pull the strings out, and I realized, okay, this was dumb, Amy, because I have strings going through every hole, glue strings, which once I lay it down, I'm not going to be able to get those out. So I just pulled them out and went for a different way of gluing it down. So instead, I'm trying to pull it off there. It doesn't really work. So instead, I laid it down and then popped the hot glue down on the canvas, which worked much better. Glue strings are an issue when you're crafting, aren't they? Anyway, in the end, I think this came out really cool. This is the first time actually that I've used the metal ribbon. I absolutely love it. It's very sturdy, so it makes bending it took a little bit of work, but it was worth it in the end. And I hope you guys really like this piece. Christy, I hope I did you proud. Thanks for the inspiration. This is a fun challenge. I love doing this challenge. All right, guys, so that's it. Tell me which one was your favorite.